All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we are going to be re-exploring green, blue, Zonji. That's right, ST-12, green, blue, Zoro, and Zonji. We're going to be checking that leader out again. I've got some new ideas I wanted to throw out there. And I think today's video is just going to be a pretty fun video. But let me not get ahead of myself. Hang on, let me not get ahead of myself. Let me tell you what all we're getting into. First up, we're going to head over to the lab, and we're going to check out a game of Black Yellow Luffy versus Red Purple Law. That's what you see in the background. That's the first thing. That's the first order of business for today. Okay, we're going to go from there and head over to the sim. Another, not the sim, how do I say this? These are both on the sim, right? But then we're going to hop over to even more games on the sim of Green, Blue, Zoro, and Zonji. I have 4 games lined up for that we're going to check out. That should be a lot of fun. And then we will kind of finish off that portion of the video with a critique of the deck that I'm running and kind of talk about it. I'll give my final thoughts from there. Okay, and then we will finally end off the video with an art critique. Okay, so let's dive straight into it. Like I said, today's going to be a pretty fun, pretty chill video. But hey, let's do this. All right. I will have everything time-stamped, of course, in the general description. I'll have links and stuff in the comment section below. I'll have the deck list, all that good stuff. Okay, guys, I got you covered. Okay, first things first, let me tell you what's going on here. For those who are unaware, this is what I call the VV Lab, or the VV Laboratory, however you want to say it, where basically the community that hops on my Discord, they will hop on the Discord and submit a game on YouTube to me, and I will review it. That's what this portion is. It's kind of like a way for me to give back to the community. It's almost like a miniature coaching session. Okay, it acts as a coaching session to whoever sent it off, so I could review their play, and then it acts as content for me to review their game on in the video. Okay, so if you are interested in submitting one of your games, all you have to do is find a way to record it. Use like OBS is what a lot of people use. Record your game and then send it to me and send a link to the game on YouTube. So you have to load it to YouTube, send it to me on Discord, the link. And I have an entire, channel in Discord called Review My Game. Send it in there and I'll throw you in the list. Okay. And just to give a heads up, it won't be the next day. Okay, guys, because I do have like an entire lists on lists of people that I have to do their games. Okay. So, but don't worry, I will get to it eventually. I do this at the beginning of every video now. Okay, so now that we know what that is, let's hop into this game. This is Black Yellow Luffy versus Red Purple Law. Okay, I'm going to hit play. The volume is off. The speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. We're good to go, guys. Okay, and I have this in 2x speed, like I said, so it's gonna move pretty quickly. And it looks like both players chose to mulligan, I believe. And turn 1, it looks like the Luffy player is going to do a top 5 search. They snag a Sabo, and they saw 2 Sabos in there. And there's 2. Okay, so we have seen all 4 Sabos. Pause real quick, guys. And good. They did grab a Sabo. That's excellent. So understand what we just saw. In the very first search, let me go back just 1 second, guys. So with the GARP search, we see 2 Sabos in here. And they grabbed a Sabo. That was the right call. Now watch this, guys. We do another top 5 search with the event and saw the other 2 Sabos. So we know that the most Sabos we're going to get this game, more than likely, is going to be 2. And that is why, I mean, first of all, it's the best option out of these anyway. The only other option would have been Luffy. However, knowing the information that we have, another Luffy's probably coming, in the future. But we know another Sabo's not coming until we go through our entire deck, going through the entire deck with searches. So they grabbed the other Sabo. I think we saw them do that, and that is definitely the correct call. Grab Sabo, very nice, and put Sabo to the top as well. Excellent. Okay, Sabo is a big deal, guys. Now, it's not as huge of a deal in Red Purple Law, I will say that, because they can just bottom deck it with a single Gordon. But still, it is still a big part of cycling through your deck and all that. And another thing that's important to note is we have not seen a single Gecko Moria. I do not know what is in this player's list, but Gecko Moria is in pretty much every Black Yellow Luffy list, and we have not gone over it yet, so that is a good sign. That is a good thing that we did not actually accidentally go over it with our searches. So real quick, this Red Purple Law player on the top is running Tony Chopper, which I think is an absolutely incredible card. I think you should absolutely run the card. But I think, did they choose to swing last turn? I'm sorry, guys. I was just yapping away. So from the opponent here, they chose to swing for 5. And they took, yeah. I don't really agree with doing that this early on versus Black Yellow Luffy. This is where we left off at. Swinging in with Red Purple Law this early to give them cards in hand and to get closer to their leader effect, I do not think is a smart call. I think you should totally fill the board out first before you try something like that. Kind of force your opponent's hand and force them to play their 5 cost characters that you can bottom deck with your power reduction. your power reduction and leader effect. Okay. Not necessarily a... And let me say one more thing, too. So they just bottom decked our Garp with the leader effect. That's fine. They're going to play something out here. But one thing I want to say is it's not necessarily a play mistake to attack into Black Yellow Luffy this early. It's just a different route of trying to win the game. There's always more than one way to do it, right? So here we go. Okay, so they cheat out a Bankrei Bentham to ramp a Dawn back, and they get a Dawn back with their Eustace Kid. They still have Tony Chopper on the board, which is extremely important. They need to keep that on the board. They swing for 7. And hey, Black Yellow Luffy's like, thank you very much. Hey, swing with your other blocker too. I'll take it. And here we go. We're going to do a draw 2, trash 2. We have still not seen a Gecko Moria. That is interesting. That's a little bit alarming. I do not know this player's list. I have not seen their list. Who knows if they're playing less Gecko Morias than usual, or maybe we just have been super unlucky. Doing a top 5 search at this point is very scary. Yep, and there's our first Gecko Moria. But hey, we still have 3 more in the list to get through. He puts it on top. Did we not get anything? I'm sorry. We got the Sabo, right? Yeah, okay, excuse me. We got the Sabo. Excellent, and we're good to go. Because we already had 2 other Luffys in hand, because I think that's what the other one was. Unless it was Ace, I didn't see. So Gordon, yep, this is the premier target to bottom deck. 4 red, purple law. It means, hey, that card is out of my way now. Now, what they should have done first, if they were going to try to stay aggressive, is they should have attacked first with the Bankrei Bentham. But again, I don't know what this guy's strategy is. I have seen some people... Hang on one second, guys. He's just deciding what he wants to throw out from his hand. I have seen some red-purple law players actually, you know, basically say, I'm going to get you down to 2 life and then leave you at 2 life. Let's see if he chooses to do that here. I do think that is the right call. Okay, and I'll explain why in just a second. Let's see what he decides to do, and then I'm gonna pause it and tell you. We're just waiting on the red-purple law player. He passes turn. Okay, very good. Now, say he swung for 5 there. You just take it. Like, as the Black Yellow Luffy player, you simply take it. And then what you can do this turn is you can set your top life card with Hiyori. Because this is a, let me see, it's going to be a 2, 4, 6, 8 Dawn turn. So with 2 Dawn, you need for Hiyori, 2 Dawn for your leader. Then the other 4 Dawn you're going to use for your 2-cost characters. And this will let you sit at 9,000 power. For your leader, and have an additional life left over to, you know, to give you a little bit of cushion to move on from there. And that will set up your next turn with Gecko Moria to redo everything I'm about to say. So again, you will play Hiyori out to take your... So, okay, let me back up a little bit. If the Law player had swung for 5, Black Yellow Luffy takes it. Then, on their turn, they go up to 8 Dawn. That's the situation that we're in currently. You play out Hiyori to replace whatever the last card is with this Luffy right here, for example, or the 5-cost Rocket Luffy. And then you literally attach 2 to your leader. You play out the Luffy with the 2-cost character. Then you send 2 more cards to your life with your leader effect. Play out the other Luffy from hand, or whatever you need to do if you had a Sabo, whatever, to get back. And you can go about it that way. Let's see what happens. And that would give you a 9,000 power leader with a 1 life advantage, which is where Black Yellow Luffy wants to be. But let's see what happens here. We have already lost 1. I think we've actually lost both of our Sabos, which is worst case scenario. But it's not the end of the world. Okay, we do have a Flampe, so we can draw. I would probably Flampe here. I would probably Flampe again and just fill up that way and just go to 9,000 power for the turn. But let's see what they do. Hang on, sorry guys. I'm trying to watch and come up with the idea in my head at the same time. Okay, because this is, yeah, I don't know if I would do Hiyori here. Hiyori is probably not the best play. So in this situation, I just paused it, guys. We have to talk about it. I think I just Flampe to draw 2 cards. You draw the top card of your life and the card from... So draw a card from life and a top card from your deck. And then you still have 4 Dawn left. You can put 2 life cards into your life, or two 5-cost cards from your trash or hand into your life. And then you can go up to 9,000 power and go about things that way, because you have plenty of counter power still. That is one way you could do this turn now that they've chosen to do it this way. So let's see what happens here. Looks like they're thinking. I like when they click, you can see the mouse's color change. I think that's what that is. It like changes between white and black. I really like that. Okay, so it looks like we're going to deploy the Flampe. I do agree with that. That is, given the circumstance, given this situation, I do believe that is the right play. Because your opponent is only on 5 Dawn. They will be on 7 Dawn next turn. Play out the Flampe. Excellent. Okay, and now I see we have an Ice Age. We do have an Ice Age here. And I just noticed we have the Gecko Moria. I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we did at least draw to one of our Gecko Morias. That's a really good thing. That's excellent. Okay. So right here, we're going to trash a card from hand. We're going to use our leader effect. Nice. We have a Sabo in the trash. Very good. Play out the Luffy. Pop. Nice. Pop the character. Yeah, that was... So the other option would have been Bankrei Bentham. It's definitely not Reiju. Bankrei Bentham was the other potential target. but Chopper was the better target. That was absolutely the right call, popping that. Now we're at 7,000 power, and now you can play out the Sabo to draw 2 Trash 2, and we're making our way straight through the deck to hopefully get to our other Sabos, because we know where they are. 3 are on the bottom of our deck in like the last 15 cards. Okay, so let's see what happens here. And now we have 2 Gecko Morias. This is starting to look very good for the Black Yellow Luffy player. But let's see. You know, the game's not over. Let's see what the Red Purple Law player wants to do here. Okay, and it looks like they're deep in the tank. I agree. I mean, this is a situation. This is the situation that you don't really want to find yourself in as Red Purple Law, where they have, you know, well, 0 life is fine, but the fact that they now have their leader effects turned on as Black Yellow Luffy, they're at 9,000 power. You have to invest 3 Dawn minimum in this current situation just to attack into the leader. And swinging for 10, yeah, I'll 2K counter out every time. Now, there is an argument here. Hang on, pause. There is an argument to use your Sabo in this situation. There is an argument because you want to bring the Sabo back next turn as well to continue to fix your hand. And this will save a card from hand, and it will kind of force them to attack into you because we know there's no... there's not another Sabo coming for a very, very long time. So blocking out of this attack is actually not the worst case scenario because they only have 1 more attack they can even do this turn, right? Maybe potentially 2 if they cheat out. Maybe potentially 2 actually, because what they would be able to do is, you know, load 3 on a Eustace Kid, swing for 9, which you could counter out him very easily with a 1K counter, and then they could cheat out the 4-cost, what's his name? Goodness, Kid and Killer, and get 2 new Dawn refreshed with their 2 Eustace Kids on the board and swing for 9 again. So, but we'll see what they choose to do. Excellent. I think that was absolutely the best call for sure, because now you just dare them. Like, yeah, please throw your Dawn back and attack at me with one of your other characters. And they're going to do that. They're probably going to play out the 4-cost. Yep, Kid and Killer. Absolutely. And maybe they'll swing for 12 here. They could swing for 12, which is ugly. Okay, I was going to say that'd be weird if they didn't. And now you just do 2 2K counters. So, again, you only lost 2 cards from hand still. Because if you had countered out of the first one, you'd have lost a card from hand. And then this one would have been, you know, your blocker on the board. So I feel like it ultimately came out to 2 cards no matter what. And you got to secure your Sabo in the trash. That was the most important part, is securing your Sabo in the trash, because now you can get them back with your Gecko Moria. Really technical lines of play here, guys. This is a very hard deck to pilot. This is not an easy deck to pilot. Okay, let's see what happens next. This game's getting kind of exciting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really enjoying this one. Play out Gecko. Okay, this is the quintessential 10 Dawn turn for Black Yellow Luffy. It is arguably the strongest turn that you can play in the game, where you go 2 Dawn on leader to gain 2 life, and you play out an 8-cost Gecko Moria to get what, 2 2-cost back, which will translate into 2 5-cost back. It's almost like an 8, so 5, 10. And then 20, 22. It's almost a 25 Dawn turn. It's really insane what's happening. Swing 1 into 1. Awesome. Really nice there. They should just... I would have actually just blocked with my... I wouldn't even... pause real quick. I would not have even used... Okay, a lot of craziness going on. Hang on. I would not have even used a counter from hand if I'm the Red Purple Law player. I would have just blocked for free with the Eustace Kid. Okay, I think that was a slight misplay because Luffy should not be attacking into board. I don't know how else to say that. Luffy should be going for face every single turn. Okay, so here we go. Now we can swing. Absolutely, go 11 at face, because you can't stop them from turning off the how do I say this? If you swung into the 4-cost Kid and Killer, they can just block because they had 2 blockers. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what they do. And we can do this all over again next turn because we have another Gecko Moria coming. Now let's see what happens here. I think if I'm Red Purple Law, the first thing I'm going to do is swing 5 with Reiju into the Flampe and try to get my opponent to do something stupid, right? Try to get him to block, you know, to be funny, trying to block with Sabo, like, okay, you're not, you know, why would I let that go through? And that will also clear up the board, which helps out later. Swinging for 10. I'm going to say this right now. It was good to counter out of that one. But if I'm the... Okay, how do I say this? There must not be any power reduction in the Red Purple Law player's hand. Because what I would have done in this exact situation would have been play out Gordon. And I don't care if I have to return the 2 Dawn back and everything. It doesn't matter. But I'm bottom decking the Sabo and I'm going just straight up... what would it have been? Let me see. He's got 5 Dawns still open and he swung for... I think he put 3 Dawn on the character. So I think, okay, maybe he's going to do that. Maybe he's going to play out Gordon now and cheat out another Kid and Killer and do exactly what I said. Because it's like, just get the Sabo out of the way and just go all in. Just as big of an attack as you can get. And it's hard for me to believe that they have no power reduction in hand with a 7-card hand. And I think we've only seen one or two Gordon/Raise Max. Okay, so they go ahead and play out a Eustace Kid here. That's an interesting play. Okay, they did that a little late because now you can block with the Sabo. It's like, go ahead, swing into whatever you want to. But I guess, I don't know, then they swing into Sabo, but you kind of want that. So maybe at this point in the game, you're just going to go for game here. We'll have to see. So Red Purple Law, they still can use their leader effect, but that's it. They can't swing with their Eustace Kids. There's no point. You're at 9,000 power. So they're debating right now whether or not they want to use the leader effect. And you have 3 Eustace Kids on the board, so why would you not? Okay, Dawn -3, choose no enemy effect, and let's see what they decide to cheat out. Maybe another blocker. Maybe their hand is just flooded with blockers. I'm just not sure. Let's see what happens. We're just waiting patiently, guys, for the Red Purple Law player. I'm going to start fast forwarding, to be honest. Okay, because we're just waiting for them to make a decision. Okay, so I feel like they had lethal this turn. I'm going to be honest. I feel like the player on the top had lethal this turn, but they kind of did something weird here, especially if they had a power reducer in hand. So they're going to swing for 10. This is just a simple 2K, but use your blocker here so you can recycle it next turn. At least in my opinion. Because remember, there is no Sabo in the trash. Unless you're going for lethal this turn. Maybe you could try to go for lethal. Interesting. Okay, so because I guess what I'm trying to say is I would just block with the blocker there, the Sabo, and then I would just play out another Gecko Moria, swing everything to face because they have to counter out of it, right? And then you can KO one of these Kid and Killers with a Luffy that you bring back as well. It could be Sabo Luffy combo. Okay, well now and we just drew another Gecko Moria. That's really nice. Let's see what happens here. Of course, we're going to use our leader effect to gain 2 life and go from there. And I think it looks like they're trying to decide, should I smack this board around a little bit or what? And this was the scary part about not using the Sabo. I feel like we could have played that out here, but and try to get some tempo with it. Like, okay, so what I'm trying to say while he's coming up with that, because I know I left that kind of open-ended. I'm saying that we could have just blocked with Sabo to save a card from hand, and then this turn we can bring the Sabo back and draw 2 trash 2. But hey, okay, we got a Luffy and Ace combo here. Looks like we might be going for game a little bit, or at least like forcing our opponent's hand. So in this strange situation here, I actually probably, yeah, I guess going for face is fine. Because if they 2K, 1K counter out of this, I guess they're in a little bit of trouble, right? Wow, that was bold, because you have 3 other attacks. Okay, now we're going to go 9. I like that. Now we're going to go 9 into the Eustace Kid here. And then we've got 11 more to come in with the leader. Okay, uses a blocker as they should, because the biggest character on the board currently is that. Yep, I think they're going to block out of this one as well. And now I got a pass turn. We do have 1 blocker. We're at 9,000 power. I think we're fine here. I do think we're still fine, because we have 2K and then 5 1Ks. So we have 7,000 power to get out of something right here. And since we're already at 9,000, that is massive, right? 9,000 plus 7, we can get to 16K if we need to, and we still have a blocker on the board if needed. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're just really waiting for the Red Purple Law player. I get it, their back's up against the wall, but I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So they play out a Chopper here. That is a good play. That's fine, because you have to use 3 Dawn for your leader effect anyway, and then you're going to be able to get 1 Dawn back with your Eustace Kid. Let's see what they do. They return 3 Dawn. So they must have had no power reduction. Man, that feels bad. That feels bad if you're the Red Purple Law player here. They play out another Chopper. Okay, that's fine. And then they're going to play out they're going to hard cast Reiju, which is interesting, because that was more expensive than the Chopper. Maybe that was just a play mistake. And then, again, I'm going to keep fast forwarding, guys, because we got to see what to do here. They do have enough blockers to try to survive 1 more turn, I think. Maybe they have to swing into a character here. 11 into 9, 2K, 1K. Yeah, now we go for lethal this turn, I think. If I'm Black Yellow Luffy, I'm probably going for lethal this turn. Yeah, of course, still play things the correct way. Gain some life, absolutely. Play that out. We're going to be able to pop a blocker with the 5-cost Luffy interaction. And now it is no way, right? Just go 9 into face. Yeah, you just go 9s across the board. You can actually go 9 across the board in this situation, and there's absolutely no way they're surviving. Okay, and then here we go. Yep. Okay. Very, very nice. You love to see it. Swing for 15. GG. That was a good game. That was a fun one. Let me see something real quick just to see if he had. No, he's just turning off the thing. I was going to check if he had added his deck list. Sometimes people want to see the deck list. But guys, Black Yellow Luffy has been pretty well figured out for a while now. This is pretty much the what to expect from Black Yellow Luffy. Just to summarize, really nice game there. I didn't really see a whole lot of play mistakes, to be honest. I feel like this was played very well. There were a few times where I was really, I got really scared in the very beginning with some of the searches where we didn't get a Gecko Moria for a while, right? Like, this is way at the beginning of the game when we did. Oh, it was actually further in the beginning. Yeah, we played out this. We got one of the two Sabos there, you know, and then another one of the two Sabos in this search. That scared me because it's like, oh no, they're going to bottom deck at least one with their power reduction. And then we did I think we did another top 5 search, right? On this one, I think it was this turn right here. Yeah, and then this was this was still in the same turn. Let me fast forward to go to the next turn. We ended up doing another top 5 search, and it really scared me. Yeah, this is it right here. It's like, okay, remember, up to this point, we have not seen a single Gecko Moria. So the chances of drawing one with our top 5 searcher is extremely high, which is not good in this situation because you can't grab it. It's not, you know, and there's where we saw the first Gecko Moria. But we got to see the rest, you know, come after that, and it was, you know, it was smooth sailing from there. Really good game, but I think that was a really fun one. All right, now let me go ahead and go like this, adjust everything real quick, guys. Y'all give me a second, because now we are going to hop over to some more games on the sim, guys. We got more and more games coming. Let me go get off the black screen here. There we go. Whoops, and this, I got to turn this one off. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're good to go. So now back to, this is the primary focus of today's video, green-blue Zonji, right? I'm working on this leader, guys. Bear with me. I'm trying to make it work. I've got a lot on my plate right now. Let me turn the volume off. No excuses. I'm just saying it's taking me a little longer than I expected to find time to play all these different games. So first game here is against Red Purple Luffy. And honestly, guys, whenever you can swing 6s multiple times a turn, or even 7s against Red Purple Luffy is actually very destructive because they don't run a whole lot of 2K counters typically. At least some versions don't. I've seen some run more than others. So notice what I'm running, guys. Sengoku, and I've got some Navy cards in my hand. Check that out. This is a total hodgepodge. Well, not hodgepodge. It's like 50-50. Okay, pause. He hit me with a Red Hawk. Very nice there. Now, that doesn't really hurt my board, right? Because these one cost 2Ks. Realistically, these cards are not swinging into a 6,000 power leader unless it's just to win the game. But real quick, notice with this this version that I'm running pretty much a 50-50 Navy and 7 Warlords of the Sea package. And guys, I think there might be something here because your Navy stuff can search up things like the 7 cost Gravity Blade Raging Tiger and a few other decent cards like this Hina and some 2K counters. And then they can also search up Sengoku, who is Navy, who can then search up your 7 Warlords of the Sea stuff. So it's like Inception levels of searching going on here. But hey, we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is like one of my favorite combos right now. So swing 6, they take it. That's dangerous. I'm going to play out Jinbei here going into the Edward Weevil. Okay, let's see what they do here. This should be a little bit of fun. I'm also running Boa Hancock because I noticed it's good to at least have a few blockers. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's necessary, but I think having a few blockers is a good thing. They left 2 Dawn active, so the only thing I'm not scared of a Rad Beam, I'm not scared of a Guard Point, but I am scared of a Red Hawk potentially, but not with this board, right? So 6 into 6. This is a Red Purple Luffy's worst nightmare is all these 6s just coming in like this. Look at this. Swinging for 6, swinging for 6 more. They're going to use the blocker here, guys. So guess what? I'm just going to cash in on this. I'm going to swing 6, return my Jinbei, and stand up my Edward Weevil, and we're going in for 6 more, guys. Okay, there's that Red Hawk we were expecting. Actually, I'm going to go in for 7 for this next time, put him down to 1 life, play out the Jinbei, play out the Boa Hancock. The 7 Warlords of the Sea package is so nice, guys. And in this deck, you actually get to recycle your Jinbeis, which is really nice. So he's going to swing for 5. I want to dump my hand. He's already shown me that he has a 4-cost blocker Law, so I'm not getting anywhere near 7 cards in hand this turn, unless I just have no other option. Okay, so they play out the Luffy here, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take that. I did have to take that, but I'm like, dude, you're at 1 life, and you have 5 cards in hand, and I have bare minimum 5 attacks coming your way. So I'm like, okay, let's see how many, let's do this. Let's see how many 2K counters he has. Is this the game? I know in one of these games I make a mistake with Edward Weevil where I attach 2 to him and then try to stand him later. Okay, I don't in this game. Very good. That's good. Swing for 7. Let's see what he gets. Let's see what the trigger was. It was actually a pretty decent trigger, but now you have no Dawn. You have no, you have no life. You have no Dawn. So right here, I'm going to swing for 6, and I don't use the leader effect, and I'm going to load everything else on Boa and just swing for 12. Okay, basically I'm just saying, hey, you got it or you don't. And I swung 12 into 6, so they would have had to have 2K, 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 1K, or another 2K, which is highly, highly unlikely considering how they were countering out earlier in the game. And I probably, you know, I don't always remember what I see in their hand, you know, from memory when I'm reviewing the video, but when I'm actually playing, I do at least read what they draw from Nami. You see what I'm saying? So I had a pretty good idea that I could win that game. Okay, that one was fun. Red, Purple, Luffy. That's another really good deck as well, by the way. All right, next up, we got a game of, whoops. There we go, of Katakuri. All right, let me go full screen here. There we go. Let me go 2x speed as well. All right, so Katakuri. This is not an L. Okay, this is definitely not an L. However, an L is still pretty... I actually think an L is maybe a little bit easier for me to deal with than Katakuri, to be completely honest, because I could just go wide enough against an L and just run him over. Katakuri, though, typically will get really aggressive with me where I'm kind of on a clock, where it's like, oh gosh. You know, Enel will like keep you at 4 life and just pop your characters with Gidatsus and Yamatos and stuff. Whereas Katakuri is like, nope, we're going face. Look at this. He's swinging for 8 on turn 2 after putting these 2 blockers down. Or, I mean, these 2 searchers down. I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see what you got. Gives me a 2K counter. That's a good sign. So I play out the Jinbei that cheats out Weevil. They play out the Nami, which pops my character. It is what it is. Not ideal. That is less than ideal. But we're going to swing for 5 here. See if they get any triggers. I think we're just waiting on the trigger. Actually, no trigger. So I'm going to play out the Sengoku here to grab a Gecko Moria. Play out the Tashigi to grab a Hina. The Hina's decent. It's really just meant to be a 1K counter most of the time. But if you get in the situation where it's a late game where you're running out of gas, that Hina will just draw you cards like crazy, guys. I mean, like crazy. Which is really nice. Okay, 5 into 5. I'm not just going to let him have that easy. He can have the Jinbei. I'm not scared to lose it, but if it's just for 5, I'm countering out. Like I said, that's like the best thing that Hina's for in this deck. Swinging for 6. I have 1 2K counter, and I'm like, okay, you have 6 Dawn. What are you going to do? Swing twice with your puddings? And the answer was yes. The answer was yes. They're going to swing twice with pudding, so I'm countering out fully. It's like, no, okay, time to punish now. Like now, look at this, 2 into 2. I'm going to absolutely punish this guy for overextending like that, which is what you should be doing. Because I'm not on a clock realistically, right, guys? Like, I'm not hurting right here. I'm going to swing 5 into the leader. I'm just going to eat up his hand and start chiseling away at his life. And in this situation, I think I'm going to get a lot of attacks in here. Okay, let's see what happens. He's going to, let's see if he got a trigger or not. Triggers are always annoying. So swing for 7. I return a Jinbei, stand the 7K Jinbei. And we're going 7-7 here. And now I'm going to play out a Jinbei, and I'm going to play out a Weevil, replacing the Tashigi. This board is disgusting. Hey, and I'm going to trash a life. You're not getting a life in this situation. You know what I mean? He plays out the 7-cost Linland. You're not getting a life there, buddy. It's not happening. And now, how do you survive this turn? Guys, okay, understand. I'm going to swing 7 5 times, bare minimum, unless a trigger says otherwise, right? So I've got 7 attacks coming in here. What are you supposed to do? Like, you know, this is a rough situation. Takes the first one too. I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't get any better from here. So now it's like, okay, swing 7. I'm just going to eat up the rest of his hand, just play it safe, but there's no way out of it. Okay, swing here, and I'm going to return that, standing up the Weevil, GG. They couldn't have gotten out of that attack, but just in case they could, I had 1 more 7 coming through. Very, very solid stuff there. This leader is so much fun to play, guys. I'm not saying it's the best leader out there, but honestly, it is such a fun deck to play. Okay, next up we got Reiju. Next up we got a game versus Reiju. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see what they're trying. Okay, of course, stage opener every time. Every Reiju starts with the stage in their hand, guys. It's so frustrating. It must be nice. But then, okay, we get a Tashigi. We do a double Tashigi searcher. We get a 2K counter and a Hina. We're pretty much good to go at this point. We've got plenty of 2K counters. And guys, wait till you see how many 2K counters I'm running in this list. I think I'm actually running like 15 2K counters. We'll count when we get to there. I'm running a lot of 2K counters, guys, because you can cheat them out with your Jinbei and use them as attackers for the 7 Warlord stuff. So it's actually very solid. They play out the Reiju, draw 3 cards. That card is absolutely insane. I'm going to swing 5 here. We're going to do the classic Jinbei into Edward Weevil. And I have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger in my hand. I can't use it next turn, but I will be able to use it very soon. Okay, let's see what they decide to do. They trash out Akiji, the rusher. And they have 4 Dawn this turn. Let's see what they decide to do. They swing for 5. I'm not going to go up in cards because they're probably running Pudding. It's just that simple. I'm going to stay under 5 cards if I can help it. They play out this new card called Porsche, which cheats out any of the miniature versions. So there's the Niji. And then they don't use Niji because they don't want to have one in their trash just yet. Okay, which is unfortunate, but hey, it happens. That's part of the risk of running this. I swing 7 into there. Now we're going to swing for 5. And then I think I'm going to swing for 6 with leader, pull back the Jinbei, stand up the Weevil to swing for 7, play out the... I should have swung first. That was... Oh, excuse me. I didn't want to swing. Excuse me. There's definitely an argument to swing there and keep on the pressure because a 6,000 power character is easier to block out of, or to counter out of, rather, than a smaller one. But I know he has Ikiji, the 7-cost guy in hand. I know, or in his trash, rather. So I'm not going to risk him being able to swing into my board. But if he wants to swing into my life, be my guest, because then I will demolish his board on the next turn with these extra attacks. Swings for 6. I'm trying to keep my life as high as I possibly can against Reiju, because that's when they start plopping down the 7-cost guy to just run you over. Okay, he plays out Niji, I think it is, to bounce back one of my cards to hand. That was less than ideal. Now, right here, though, I'm pretty sure this is the turn where I want to just Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger these cards off the board. So I think I swing for 5 at life. Yep. Excuse me. Trying to get some cards out of hand. Swing for 6 at life. That's fine. He takes it. I'm going to swing for 6 more at life. There was definitely an argument to what was I going to say? To not swing this turn with my characters. But at the same time, I am on somewhat of a, clock as well. Okay, now right here, I decided, I don't swing. Yeah, I don't swing here. And then I bottom deck as 2 left characters because it's a 5K and a 6K. Just slow him down a little bit. Again, threaten him, or try to force him into swinging into me. Let's see what he does. So he's just, cranking away with that stage. That stage is so absurd, guys, when they get it turn 1 every single game. Reiju, I'm telling you guys, Reiju is one of those leaders where if Red Purple Law did not exist, Reiju would probably be an S tier deck. I don't know for sure. I can't prove anything. And notice this is the OP0. Actually, this is just OP07, not OP08. This is the OP07 version, which is exactly what I'm running for Zonji. They're swinging for 5 here. I take it. I probably should have countered out of that. Oh, well, it is what it is. So right here, I think it's time to just develop my board a little bit. I'm going to swing... I think I swing 6 into the... I think I should have swung 7 there. But I think what I want to do is go Jinbei, Weevil, Boa, and Sengoku. Yep. Oh, and actually, not even Sengoku. Just keep the counter in hand and just use a blocker Boa. And now I'm threatening lethal next turn easily. Even with all those cards in their hand, that does not mean anything to Zonji. Those cards in hand don't mean anything to our guy Zonji. So let's see what they decide to do here. We're just waiting on them, just waiting patiently for them to make their play. Whoops, there we go. Thought I muted myself, that'd have been bad. Alright, so here they go. They swing for 6. Okay, this is... I have a 2K counter in hand. I'm debating on whether or not I want to get my value from Boa yet, because they did show that they were running the event Black Bug. Black Bug is a 4-cost that just bottom decks a 5 or less. It's basically purple Germa 66 version of 3000 Worlds. They swing in, I take it. Whoopsies. So they messed up right there, and they left. I remember this game. So they went to play out Niji, because remember, I bottom decked their Niji last turn. They didn't have another one in the trash. So they decided to just give up right there, and it was over. I'm just going to be honest, guys. The game's over right there. Because there's 2 ways I could have gone about this game, but what I was going to do, number 1, I could just completely clear this board. I could go 7, 7, 7, 7, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 4 attacks of 7 into his board. All of his board's gone. I'd have the 2 characters on the board. The one I pull back with, I would actually be playing out with the Gecko Moria to just completely get things back that way. Or, look at this, guys. I didn't know to do this or not, or I didn't know if I should do this or not, because I didn't know what was all in their hand. But they didn't even have enough to survive if I went all face here. Watch this, guys. If I go 7 into face, they can 2K, they can 1K, 1K, 1K counter out, right? Or 2K, 1K. Excuse me. They have a 2K, 1K to counter out of it. And then if I just go from there, so I only need 1 character as a 7K, right? And then if I go, what would it be? 3 here would go to 8, 4 here to 9, and then the final one's here to go to 9. Let me try to do the math real quick. 1 plus 3 would go to 8, or would go to 4 Dawn used, 4 more from this guy. Excuse me. So it could have been, yeah. So it would have been 7, 8, 9, 9. And then they couldn't even have gotten out of that. But I wouldn't have done that. That's not the route that I would have gone about it. I'm just saying that's how much gas this deck has, like, without even expecting it. But like I said, I would have absolutely gone for the board there. That's not even a question in my mind. I would have eaten that board up and just gone about it that way. It's unfortunate when they leave early, but sometimes, I mean, that was a pretty serious play mistake, right? He did not, that was so that would be classified as a blunder, even though he did get to draw a card from it from his Reiju. It was a blunder because he thought he could do something that he could not actually do, right? That put him in jeopardy because he was going to bounce one of my characters back and go about things that way when he didn't have the card accessible to him in the trash. Okay, next game. So we got Green Yellow Yamato versus Zonji here. You would think that this would be a hard matchup, and it's not an easy one, but I don't think it's as hard as people think. You know, even though they have double attack, I don't really care. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, double attack me here, fine. Now, right here, I'm just going to, because I play a lot of 2K counters, guys. Like, I mean, I play a lot. So the counter out of that was probably smart. Jinbei to get out Edward Weevil. I've got, how many counters do I have in hand? I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 2K counters in hand, and then 3 more 1K counters in hand. I'm feeling just fine. If he tries to go all in here, I probably would have countered out, but still, then what happens to the board? Okay, so they get a Kikinojo. That's a little bit annoying. I do have to worry about that in some regard. So Sengoku here is probably the right play to search for another Jinbei so I can keep this board filled. Let's see what they do. So I'm swinging for 5 into 5. I'm trying to get their hand a little bit low. They take it. I'm like, okay, no trigger either. Okay, we'll take that. Swing 6. They go 2K counter to 7. Pull back the Jinbei. Play out the Edward Weevil. And now let's see what happens here. That was a 6, and now I'm going to go 6 more, and they're probably going to take, actually, so there goes 3 2K counters, guys, in one turn. Okay, pause. So I play out the Jinbei, cheating out the Weevil, drawing a card from that, play out the Sengoku, now I can do a top 5 search for A7 Warlords with a 2K counter in this situation, or a blocker. I like the 2K counter better because they're already on their 7th on turn, so if they have Hody Jones, my blocker's worthless. Okay, 5 into 5 for a double attacker. Nope, here's a 1K counter. You got it, bud. All right, now let's see what they do here. Hody Jones tapping my board down. I'm actually... So, pause. All right. I'm going for lethal next turn. Do y'all see the situation we're in? They have 2 life left. And they have 4 cards in hand. I've seen 3 2K counters come out of their hand already. We're going face this next turn here, guys. So they go 8 into 6. Okay, that is a good play, but I'm getting out of that. 2K, 1K counter out. Here goes Kikinojo, 8 into 6 again, 2K, 1K counter out. You better believe it. Okay, 2K, whatever. I kept the Gecko Moria for some reason. Probably shouldn't have, to be honest. But we're going face. So 7 into 5. Let's see what happens here. They take it. Let's see what they get. No trigger. 7 into 5. I think they actually get a trigger right here. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's the next game. Swing 7 into 5. Okay, they're able to get out of that. And then I swing for 7, bouncing back a Jinbei to stand up the Edward Weevil. Did they get it? Did they get a trigger? What did they get? They did. They got a trigger. Less than ideal. So now the option is, okay, what we have to do now is smash into Hody Jones. Right? We don't want to give them any more life. We just have to get rid of their biggest character and try to go about surviving this right here. Now, pause. I have 4 counters in hand, one's a 2K counter. So I have 5K counter in hand. I can get to 10 very easily. 9 will not be able to save them. However, I still have 2 cards left in my life. They can double attack this turn. So let's see what happened. Let's see what they got from the top of their life. Or, excuse me, from the top of their deck, rather. Here we go. 200 million volts of Mario. Not bad. Not bad when going for lethal. That's another reason why I didn't get the bow Hancock, by the way. So let's see what happens here. They're going to swing for 11. I can't get out of that. Looks like they're going to swing for 12 with the next one. But no worries. I got 2 2K counters from life. Very easy game. We'll go ahead and counter out for 13. GG. That was a fun one. It should not have even been that close, but their last life was literally a you're the one who should disappear trigger to go up for an extra life. So, like, yes, I had a ton of counter power. I get it. But man, that was just absurd, you know, the way that whole thing transpired. The only way that I survived is if both my last cards are 2K counters. Okay? I know some people might think that was luck. I get it. To some extent it probably was, especially when I countered out a little bit awkwardly for the one attack. trying to save the Gecko Moria, but, you know, it is what it is. This is the list, guys, so it might not be as lucky as you think. Let's count how many 2K counters we're running. 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 2K counters, guys, and most of them are recyclable by Gecko Moria. Okay, and there's at least one searchable for both Navy, for the TCG searcher, and for Sengoku. Of course, there's plenty of those. So yeah, it was technically luck, but it was almost a 50-50 chance I get a card from my, you know, get a 2K counter every draw. So this is the new version I'm messing with. Excuse me. I'll run through the list real quick and we'll talk about it. And let me read the leader real quick too, for those who do not know what this leader does. And that was the perfect time for me to move my face out of the way. Okay, so here's what the leader does, guys. It is a 5,000 power 4-life leader. You attach one Dawn, and then when you attack once per turn, you may return one of your cost 2 or higher characters to the owner's hand, and then you can set up to one of your power 7,000 or less characters as active. So the Wombo combo in this deck is, okay, on the odd turns, you can go Mihawk to cheat out a Edward Weevil. Because you guys remember, Draco Mihawk says it's a 3-cost, 4,000 power 2K counter, 7 Warlords of the C-type character. And listen to what it does, guys. On play, if you have 2 or less characters, play up to 1 4-cost or lower Shigeru Kingdom type or / trait character card other than Draco Mihawk from your hand. Well, guess what? Edward Weevil is a / character, so it's perfect. And then if you're going second, Jinbei is the better option, where you can play this out, which will cheat out the Edward Weevil, and you can go from there. So yeah, let me run through the list real quick, and we'll talk more about it. I'm running 4 Draco Mihawks, 4 Weevils, 4 Boa Hancock, 4 Hina, 4 Monkey D. Garp. This is just a 2K counter that has a draw 2, trash 2, which is, well, draw 2 and then put 2 to the bottom. It's a 2K counter searchable Navy card that I can combo with my leader effect if I absolutely have to. Same thing, same idea with Hina, where it's just a 1K counter, but it's just a straight draw card if I have 5 less cards in hand, just like Boa's effect. Okay, and then we got 4 Tashigis, 4 Crocodile, 4 Jinbei, 4 Sengoku, only 2 Trafalgar Law, 4 Gecko Moria, 4 Mihawk, and 4 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Now, technically, you can do the 2K counter package however you want to. If you would actually rather have 4 of the Trafalgar Laws, by all means, swap out like 2 of these Mihawks. Well, actually, I wouldn't swap out these Mihawks because it allows you for the turn 2 aggressive version of Edward Weevil, and then the next turn you swing with them, and then pull back the Mihawk from your hand to stand with the Weevil again. It's too good to. I feel like this card's too good to pass up for what we're trying to do. But this Mihawk is pretty. This is not a once per turn effect, which is really solid. Okay, let me say it like this. All of the 2K counters in this deck are really, really good. The reason that Garp is not an option, in my opinion, is you need a 2K counter that's searchable by Tashigi. And then, like, Mihawk is good because of the once per turn when attacking. Crocodile is a 7 Warlords of the Sea card that can be cheated out, so 4 cost 5K. The reason I got rid of Trafalgar Law is because he's a 4 cost 4K. That is the only reason. But if you actually prefer, like say you want to go down to 2 Crocodiles to go up 2 Trafalgar Laws, I don't think it's going to matter. If you just want to remove 2 of these Trafalgar Laws or two of another card in here to add something else, because one thing that I would like to add eventually is the 10 cost. Like, I think this is just a nice natural progression for the deck because we can actually search this up with Sengoku, right, guys? This is a top 5 search for any 7 Warlords of the Sea type card. So we can add that to the list. That would be pretty solid. And it looks like some of these other ones, these are also 7 Warlords of the Sea cards as well. Something to mess with at some other time, maybe. But actually, for the time being, though, I would really like to add this card. And where I would add it, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I go down 1 Boa and down 1 Gecko and then go up 2 Doflamingos. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because I will say this, guys. I was piloting this deck yesterday, and it was so much fun. Just running people over. Like, the deck just runs over people who don't know what's coming. And honestly, so I will say this, when it comes to the meta, I think this deck does fine against Red Purple Law. It's not easy by any means, but I think it can compete against Red Purple Law. Lucci is the one deck that gives it trouble, especially if they get the stage down early and they're able to combo with their 4-cost Lucci and all that. That is like the deck's worst nightmare for sure. And I understand that's like probably the most popular deck in the format for both OP07 and OP08, that and Red Purple Law. But like I said, Red Purple Law is a much more doable matchup, but Lucci feels it's rough, guys. Especially if you're playing on the sim right now where you're stuck playing its OP08 characters. It's like, man, in that situation, I am going to at least show off another one of my decks. Let me see. What did I call it? Gunji? Is this it? No, that's definitely not. Oh, that's just straight Zonji. Sorry, guys. Hang on one second. I think it's called Ugly something. UG for blue-green. Rosinante, Ugly 7, Ugly 8s. This is it. This was the other thing I was messing around with. If you're stuck playing on OP08, which we all are, you know, at least currently, that might change. Hopefully they're going to have an update for the sim very soon at the time we're recording this video. But if you're stuck playing against OP08 stuff, Carrot is very strong. Guys, this is a 3-cost blocker that draws a card on play that you can pull back with your leader effect and just replay to draw cards to stand up your other characters. Carrot just keeps stuff locked down. That is not a once per turn effect. And then Nekomamushi can allow you to just sneak in lethal so easily. Pause and read what this card does, guys. This is a rush card for what we're trying to do. This version is probably a little more fine-tuned than my other one I just showed off. But notice I'm not running the Searcher package, and I have way less 2K counters. Way less 2K counters. I only have 1, 2, let me see, 3. And that's another card I wasn't running is Izo. This is not 7 Warlords of the Sea searchable, so I just kind of got rid of it. But yeah, this is kind of the direction I'm trending with Green Blue Zoro Sanji going into OP08. Because this card, Nekomamushi, guys, do not sleep on this card. It is actually so good. Like, look at this, guys. It's a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter. And if your opponent has 7 or more rested cards, like on the field, so that includes Dawn, characters, stages, leaders, you name it. Okay, if they have 7 or more rested cards, this character gets Rush. It's a 5-cost 6K with Rush and a 1K counter. And that is it's important that it's a 6K character, because that means we can easily use our leader effect with it, even if we attach one Dawn to make it a 7K attack. Now we can stand it and swing twice before they even knew we had that extra attack coming their way. Really good stuff there. Like I said, this card, Margaret, is actually just so good. I think we just play it and we don't block with it. I think we play it and draw a card, and then we just always use it to sling back to our hand to cheat out these, to stand up these other cards like Carrot, Jinbei, Weevil, Zoro. This Zoro's not a once per turn. Pause and read this if you don't know what this does. A lot of stuff going on here. This has a lot of potential in the future. But back to where we were. What did I call this deck? I think I called it Gonzo or something. Gunzo. Yeah, here's Gunzo. Don't ask. I have no idea. Some of these names, guys, you have to understand. Like, look at all these different decks I have up here. These are all like just. I think I have like 155 or 165 decks laid out up here. I need to clean this thing out soon. And then on the next update, I'll probably do that. Anyway, that's enough. Please tell me what y'all think in the comment section below, guys. What version of the deck are y'all running? I actually want to re-explore Film soon. Let me bring up Film. Hang on one second. Because Film actually got some new cards, guys, coming out in the new ST decks. It's not updated on here yet. But in ST-16, I believe it is, Film got some brand new cards, which is OP0 8.5, but still, like, there's some really good stuff coming out for Film, and it was already strong, guys. This is not a once per turn. So with your leader, you're smashing in for 7 twice, drawing 2 cards potentially off this. You got your big body blockers. Soon we'll have the 9-cost Shanks. Sorry, spoiler, it is what it is. We've got the 2K counters we need now with Sanji and Chopper. We can still mix in cards like this every now and then, you know, in certain places. There's just a lot there, but we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens in the future. All right, that's it for this part, guys. We're going to hop over to the art critique. Again, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. I try to answer that stuff as soon as I can, okay? All right, but now we're going to hop over to the art critique and have a little bit of fun with a really awesome character here in Ace. And with Ace, this is a very special composition we're looking at today. A lot of times we see these really strong triangles or these really strong squares and shapes. With, what's his name here, with Ace, with Portgas.D.Ace, we're seeing something a little bit different. We're seeing more of a spiral pattern. I'm going to use the marker tool here and just show you guys. Notice the background. So let's just put this circle. Can y'all really see that? The green's not great. Let me try the blue. Is blue? I feel like blue's a little more contrasty with the reds. Maybe if I go with a light blue. Yeah, you can see that good enough. Okay. I just want to see if y'all can see it. So from the middle here, we have all these spirals coming out. So notice what's going on. This is more like a spiral composition. Do y'all see it? Notice the flames in the background. Ace is, of course, our centerpiece, right? He is the main focus because this is the 7-cost, 7,000 power Portgas.D.Ace, right? They're doing something we have seen quite a bit in the past. There's this way to make these poses that would normally be very static to make them a little more exciting when you have a absolute masterclass in foreshortening. Notice the fist at the front here. This is looking very nice, okay? And it's coming out. It's coming at the viewer. It's attacking us into our dimension, right? It's like breaking the barrier of the 2D plane and going into the 3rd dimension. It's coming at us. Then the fist in the background is way back here, right? So one fist is coming out, the other one is way back here. And notice this, guys. I promise, my hands are not different sizes, right? That's just an illusion of perspective. See, when I get them close, they're the same size. But when I move one further back than the other, it has the illusion that one is larger than the other. And that's what the artist is doing here with total mastery, showing this fist coming at the camera, and then the other one, where's my other hand at? It's like cocked back below him all the way back here. And we know, with Ace, he has this flame fruit, and so he has this firepower coming out from behind him, and it's also very, very thematic for the card. I don't like to always mention what the cards do, but hey, this character is just attacking fast. He's going at his opponent relentlessly. It's really awesome. But really good stuff there. Other than that, the actual pose itself is done very nicely. You guys know I see triangles and shapes everywhere. Am I going crazy? Maybe I'm just going crazy. But we have this really nice triangle between the knees and the shoulder. That's giving us, why is this, for some reason this is filled in today. Sorry guys, there we go. Let's also change it to a blue. We have a really nice triangle going on to ground the picture. That's what the triangle does, by the way. Like, whenever I showed these pieces here, I'm not saying that the artist was like, all right, let me draw a triangle right here, and that'll be exactly what we want. No, it is a mental thing, right? It is actually something that happens mentally, subliminally for the artist. And when you establish these hard points that all form a triangle, it helps ground the piece, and it actually allows you to do so much more with it. Like in this case, punching into the foreground with the fist, having the body in the midground there, and then the other hand, the left, his left, it's like our right side, but his left hand is way back behind his body, almost in the background. But what's actually in the background? In the background, we have the spiral pattern, right? In the background, we have the spiral pattern going on like this, right? It's just spiraling outward with the flames. Really good stuff. That's a fun one there. Whoopsies. Maybe I go forward. There we go. So this is an awesome card, and I did want to review this a while back. Sometimes you just don't have the chance. And one thing else I want to say, guys, is I can never cover all the stuff going on in this piece in just a single, 15-minute segment like this. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. We're going to end it there. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. I am going to throw up the that didn't sound right. I hope I don't throw up. But I'm gonna put up the VV Pirates playmat supporter page here. I still have about 50 playmats left, guys. If you're interested, I will link in the comment section a way to buy them. It's just straight through PayPal. It's $35 for anyone in the United States. If you're not in the United States, message me on Discord and we can figure it out. I think it ends up being like $50 for shipping and handling outside of the United States. Not $50 for the shipping and handling. $50 altogether, just so that the shipping handling is included as well. But again, don't try and do it like that. Message me on Instagram, on Discord. Message me on Discord if you need to know about out of the country shipping for the mat. Big shout out to all the people who have already bought the mat. They look awesome. I'm starting to see them pop up everywhere. People showing them off in the Discord. People showing them off at locals. They look great. They look incredible. And then one more thing, big shout out to the Patreons, to the patrons, let me say, because it's not just Patreon. Some people are on Patreon helping me. Some people are becoming members on YouTube. That's the fastest way to help me, guys. And I get it. There's not like a perk to helping me. These are people who just actually want to help the channel grow, and they're just trying to help me out. Because, guys, I can't put out any more content than I do, right? I put out a video every single day. And I understand some people are like, well, why would I give money to the channel when there's nothing extra to get from it? These are people, I would see it as like a Twitch donation almost. That's kind of what they're doing. Like, hey man, I just want to send something your way, and that's what these guys do. So thank you to every single person on this page and to everyone who supports the channel. And thank you for watching. If anyone who made it this far, guys, if you're watching my channel, if you're watching any of the videos on my channel, if you're subscribing, sharing, commenting, whatever, right? If you're doing any of that, guys, I really, really appreciate it. Liking, all that stuff. Right, I'm done. I'm done rambling. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.